Hello everyone, this is Dr. Kusum Akki, Department of Pharmacognosy, Associate Professor, KLE College of Pharmacy, Hubli. I am going to discuss about phytosomes, which is one of the important topic in your syllabus of herbal drug technology. The contents of this discussion are introduction, method of preparation, difference between liposomes and phytosomes, properties of phytosomes, advantages of phytosome, its evaluation and examples of some of the marketed formulation. Now coming to the introduction, why such type of formulations are required in recent market as compared to conventional dosage form? We know that active constituents extracted from plants have been used to treat various diseases since ancient times. However, many phytoconstituents such as polyphenols and terpenes are poorly absorbed by the body fluids when administered, which limits their widespread application. The poor absorption of these compounds may be because of two properties. The first property is the multi-ring structure of polyphenols are too large to be absorbed by passive diffusion or non-active absorption. Secondly, the poor water or lipid solubility of these compounds prevent them from passing across the outer membrane of gastrointestinal cells. Active constituents extracted from natural plants have been shown to exhibit robust in vitro pharmacological effects but poor in vivo absorption. Among the potential strategies, phytosomes have emerged as a promising strategy to enhance the bioavailability of active constituents. These phytosomes, it is a patented technology. Now coming to the definition of phytosomes, the term phyto means plant, while some means cell-like. Phytosomes are cell-like structure. Phytosome, it results from the reaction of phospholipid, mainly phosphatidylcholine, with a standard herbal extract. Phosphatidylcholine is bifunctional compound. The phosphatidyl moiety, being lipophilic in nature, is the head, and choline moiety is the tail, being hydrophilic in nature. The choline moiety of the phosphatidylcholine binds to the hydrophilic phytoconstituent, whereas lipid soluble phosphatidyl portion envelops the choline bound complex. As a result, a phytophospholipid complex is formed with better lipid solubility and better bioavailability than the conventional herbal extract containing dosage forms. Now let us see the preparation of these phytosomes. Before going into the preparation, let us see what are the different additives employed in formulation. The different additives employed in the formulation of phytosomes are as follows. The first class is a phosphatidyl, which is mainly used as a vesicle forming component. Examples are soya phosphatidylcholine, egg phosphatidylcholine, dipalmityl phosphatidylcholine, disteryl phosphatidylcholine. Second class is uprightic solvent, which is used as a solvent. Examples are dioxone, acetone, methylene chloride. Third is a non-solvent, which is the main use is complex precipitating solvent. Example is N-hexane and aliphatic hydrocarbons. Third class is alcohol, which is used as a solvent. Examples are ethanol and methanol. And the last class is buffering agent, which is used as a hydrating medium. Example is saline phosphate buffer and ethanol tris buffer. Now coming to the method of preparation of phytosome. Now this is the general method of preparation of this phytosome complex. So phytosomes are generally prepared by reacting natural or synthetic phospholipid in one flask and herbal extract in another one. Both of these are mixed in a apritic solvent for complex formation with constant stirring. Later, complex is isolated with addition of a non-solvent by precipitation, then concentration, drying to get the complex in a dry form. Later, complex is dissolved in organic solvents. Then it is dried again for the formation of a thin film. Later, hydration for the formation of a phytosomal suspension. Now let us see what is the difference between the liposome and a phytosome. In phytosome, the phosphatidylcholine and the plant component actually form a 1:1 or a 2:1 molecular complex depending on the substance or substances complex. In case of liposome, it is formed by mixing a water soluble substance with phosphatidylcholine in definite ratio under specific condition. In case of phytosome, it involves a formation of chemical bonds, that is a hydrogen bond is formed between the lipid and the phytoconstituent, whereas in case of liposome, no chemical bond is formed. The phosphatidylcholine surrounds the water soluble substance. Phytosomes are much better absorbed than liposomes, showing better bioavailability, whereas in case of liposomes, the bioavailability is less as compared to the phytosomes. Now, this is a pictorial representation showing the difference between the phytosome and a liposome. As you can see from the figure, in case of phytosome, each drug molecule interacts with each phosphatidylcholine molecule, which is incorporated by hydrogen bonding, and stability is more as compared to the liposome because of the hydrogen bonding and formation of the complex by bonding. Whereas in case of liposomes, as you can see, in case of liposomes, the phosphatidyl gives a hydrophobic layer in which the middle central vesicle particular drug is filled in the middle. So, here what happens is that the hydrophilic phytoconstituents are surrounded by the lipophilic layer. Now, coming to the properties of phytosomes, coming to the chemical properties, phytosomes is a complex between the natural product and natural phospholipid. Second one is the phytosome complex is obtained by reaction of a suitable amount of phospholipid and substrate in an appropriate solvent. The main phospholipid substance interaction is due to the formation of hydrogen bonds between the polar head of the phospholipid and the polar functionalities of the substrate. When treated with water, phytosomes assumes a micellar shape forming liposomal like structures. Now, coming to the biological properties, phytosomes are advanced form of herbal products that are better absorbed, utilized, and as a result produce better results than conventional herbal extracts. Second one is phytosomes are lipophilic substances with definite melting point, freely soluble in non-polar solvents and moderately soluble in fats. Third one is phytosomes can accommodate the active principle that is anchored to the polar head of the phospholipid, which finally becomes an integral part of the membrane. The increased bioavailability of the phytosomes over the non-complex botanical derivatives have been demonstrated by pharmacokinetic studies or by pharmacodynamic tests in experimental animals as well as human subjects. Now, coming to the advantages of phytosomes, let us see what are the different advantages of phytosomes over the conventional dosage form. First one is there is a dramatic enhancement of bioavailability of the phytoconstituents due to their complexation with phospholipid and improved absorption in intestinal tract. Second, herbal phytosome process produces a little cell whereby the valuable component of the herbal extracts are protected from destruction by digestive secretions and gut bacteria. Third one is pharmacological assured delivery to the different biological tissues. Fourth one is less dose requirements due to absorption of chief constituents, and also there is increase in the bioavailability. Fourth one, drug loading efficiency is so high and moreover predetermined because drug itself in conjugation with lipid is forming vesicles. Next one, phytosomes show better stability profile because chemical bonds are formed between phosphatidyl-choline molecule and phytoconstituents. Lastly, they are relatively simple to manufacture with no complicated technical investments are required for the production of phytosomes. Now, once these phytosomes are prepared, it is necessary that we have to evaluate the phytosomes. Some of the evaluation tests which are done to check the quality of phytosomes are, first one is determination of percentage yield. So, the percentage yield of the phytosome complex can be calculated by using the formula, that is practical yield upon theoretical yield into 100. The second test is determination of drug content. So, drug content of the phytosome complex can be determined by means of accurately weighing the phytosomes and dissolving it in a suitable solvent, and after dilution taking the absorption by using UV spectroscopy, drug content can be determined. The next one is entrapment efficiency. The entrapment efficiency of a phytosomal formulations can be determined by subjecting the formulation to ultracentrifugation technique. So, after this ultracentrifugation technique, the supernatant can be isolated and the quantity of the free drug is determined by taking UV or visible readings. The entire quantity of the drug can be determined by diluting the phytosomal suspension, and entrapment efficiency can be calculated by means of using the formula total amount of the drug minus amount of the free drug upon total amount of the drug into 100. The next test is scanning electron microscopy. So, scanning electron microscopy is mainly used to determine the particle size, distribution and surface morphology of the complex. The next one is in vitro and in vivo evaluation. It can be done depending upon the therapeutic activity. The measurement parameters of the biological active constituents present in the phytosome can be done by means of using different animal models. And the next one is differential scanning colorimeter is mainly used to check the formation of the phospholipid complex and the interaction. It can be usually done by means of comparing the transition temperature, appearance of new peaks, disappearance of original peaks, melting points and changes in the relative peak area. Now, the structural verification of the phytophospholipid complex can be done by spectral studies. To confirm the formation of a complex between the phytoconstituents and the phospholipid, the following spectroscopic methods can be used. The spectroscopic analysis of the designed phytosome can be validated by comparing spectrum of the complex formed with lipid and the herbal extract. So, spectroscopic analysis, it confirms the formation of a lipid compatible complex, phytophospholipid complexation and molecular bonding interactions. It can be analyzing by employing different spectroscopic techniques. Coming first to the UV spectra, so samples that reflect different absorption in the UV wavelength range can be used to characterize own structural properties. Most studies should reveal no difference in the UV absorption characteristics of the constituents before and after complexation. Now, structural verification can be done by NMR and IR studies. Now, in case of IR studies, that is in case of NMR studies, here what is done is that, so the HNMR and CNMR techniques, it play an important role in the identification of the structure of the complex. And in case of FTIR, it is a powerful method for structural analysis and yields different functional groups that show distinct characteristic in band number, position, shape and intensity. The formation of phytophospholipid complex can be verified by comparing the spectroscopy of phospholipid complex to that of physical mixture. Now, here there are some of the examples of marketed formulations. The first one is Leukoselect, which is used for the treatment of cardiovascular diseases and also acts as an antioxidant. The phytoconstituents which is used is procyanidins from Vitis vinifera. Then the second one is Ginkgo Select, which is used for cerebral and vascular disorders. The phytoconstituents is ginsenosides from Panax ginseng. Green Select Phytosome, the phytoconstituents is epigallocatechin, which is obtained from tea leaves, that is Thea sinensis, which is used for the treatment of cancer and also used as an antioxidant. Then last is the Oleoselect Phytosome, which is a polyphenol which is extracted from Olea europaea, which is used as an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Now, there are many more marketed formulations, but I have just quoted some few examples. Now, these are the references. Thank you.